Hello and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Liz Mosley and happy Monday. I hope you are having a really good start to your week. I'm just going to have a look and see who's joining me in the chat today. We've got Sean, Gareth, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Today, hi, Tim. We are going to be thinking about designing YouTube thumbnails. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Let me know in the chat if you have got a YouTube channel. YouTube is one of those things that I always have on my list of things that I want to spend more time on. I have got a channel. It's got about 5 videos up there. I've never been consistent with it, but it is something, having seen people have incredible success with marketing their businesses and sharing content on YouTube is something that I would definitely love to experiment with more. So, hey, James. James is joining us in the chat today. Hi, Evie. Tim's asking, what is YouTube? If you don't know, Google it. I'm pretty sure you all know what YouTube is. Brilliant. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so quick run through. I've just put a few things for us to think about together in Adobe Express. So first of all, what are your YouTube thumbnails for? So if this is something completely new to you, it's basically a preview image to represent what your video is about. Now, you've probably heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But the reality of it is, people do judge books by their cover, absolutely. And it's the same with YouTube thumbnails. So the YouTube thumbnail is the first thing that people are going to see when it comes to your video, and they're going to make a judgment looking at it, whether it's something that is relevant to them or not, whether they're interested in that video or not. So you need to try and make your video as enticing as possible through your thumbnail. So there is a lot of talk online about thumbnail design because obviously everybody is trying to get people to watch their videos. But there's obviously a lot of videos on YouTube, so there's lots of sort of competition for those views. Hi, Angus. We've got more people joining in the chat, which is lovely. Okay, so a few tips for our thumbnails before we get started. So the first one is to make sure that the text is legible. So your YouTube video is probably going to have a title. Well, it should definitely have a title. So you want to have that title in your thumbnail so that people can see it and read it quickly. Obviously the thumbnail is going to work at quite a small size. So yeah, you just need to make sure that your titles aren't so long that they are not legible on your thumbnail. Next up, use contrasting colors. Now, this might depend what your branding's like, but you can use contrasting colors to really sort of draw people in, to catch people's eyes. Often using bright colors can work really well for that. It doesn't mean that you have to use bright colors, because I've seen people create beautiful designs with sort of quite muted color palettes, but just think about how, again, this feeds into the text legibility. You need to make sure that people can see what is going on in your design. Brand your thumbnails. So if you are using your YouTube channel as part of your brand, so as part of your marketing efforts, then it's really great to make sure that everything's looking consistent and is part of your brand. Make sure that you've got your sort of logo included on there. If it's not part of a bigger business, that's absolutely fine, but you can create sort of a basic brand for your YouTube channel. So you might create yourself a logo for the YouTube channel and a color palette. You pick what fonts you use. Just try and keep things consistent. You want to have like a consistent visual style, but obviously every thumbnail doesn't have to be exactly the same. You want to have some like variety, because the final tip is that your thumbnail should accurately I can't speak today, should accurately reflect the video. So you don't want to create a thumbnail that is just completely different from what actually happens in the video. It's kind of the same with branding a business. Like the brand needs to reflect the business and how people are going to experience the business. You don't want it to be something that's wildly different, and it's the same with your thumbnail. It should accurately reflect the video. So Oh, okay. In the chat, James has said, "Isn't there a rumor that Mr. Beast spends 10K on his thumbnail designs? They're that important." Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That is such a good, yeah, I think that's the thing. It is really important. And that would definitely show how important he thinks it is. And Tim says lots of YouTube channels have dedicated thumbnail artists. And Angus says thumbnails, contrasting colors. Can't help think what color nails Liz has today. I have got contrasting colors. I don't know if you can see this, but I've got bright red and then one purple one. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's really important to point out. You know, like people who are taking YouTube really seriously have absolutely massive accounts. They spend a lot of time thinking about their thumbnails. They are really important. So it's definitely something worth investing in. And I know a lot of people test, I think, different, you know, you might have heard of like A/B testing. So they test different thumbnails. If a video is not performing very well, they potentially like update the thumbnail and see if that has an impact on sort of how the videos do. So yeah, definitely something worth thinking about. But yeah, so today in Adobe Express, we are going to be creating our own thumbnails and we're going to try and make them really fun and exciting. I'm not going to do them for my brand because obviously that would get a bit boring if every week we were just doing things in the same colors and fonts. So we're going to have a bit of fun with it today. And I'm just going to show you one particular style that you could use for your thumbnails. But thankfully with Adobe Express, you can play around and try things out. And there will always also be loads of templates that you can use. So let's go back to our homepage and click on the plus button. And we're going to go to custom size graphic. But in here, we should be able to find ourselves a YouTube thumbnail. So we're not having to find the dimensions ourselves, which is always it's always good for me because I never remember what the sizes are or make a note of them anywhere. So it's nice to have it all here. So yeah, we're going to have a think about all of the tips that we gave, but also, have fun while we're doing it. So Tim says the Maddie Moss tribute colors. A thumbnail artist sounds so cute. Yeah, I do actually think that would be a fun job. Spend time contemplating your thumbnail. Okay, so I think one of the effects that I think is really fun to play with in Adobe Express is a sort of collagey look. And I think we can use some really nice bright colors to make a really fun thumbnail that's going to stand out amongst all the others. So the first thing that I'm going to do is head into photos and I'm going to find a picture of a person. In this instance, I don't particularly feel like I need it to be me, but I've seen lots of great thumbnails where there's like a cutout of the person in the video on the thumbnail. It kind of depends what sort of videos you're creating. So let's have a look. I want to find... There's lots of pictures here actually where there's like people pointing, which can be quite good because then, you can put your title sort of next to where they're pointing. I think that's quite popular. Okay, let me make a decision before I get lost in the sea of people. Wow, this guy is very energetic. I think that's a bit too energetic for a Monday morning. Okay, let's have a look. Let's go for this for now. So I'm going to do a few things to this image. First of all, I'm going to remove the background. Although if you wanted a really bright yellow background, this would work great. Because obviously, it's like a stock image and she's on a nice plain background. So you could easily overlay text for that. But I'm going to go for a collage effect. So I'm going to remove the background. Literally one of my favorite tools in Adobe Express. There's a few bits where the yellow has sort of like stayed in. So I might just go in and erase slightly. Ooh, hang on. Let's see if it's going to let me erase a bit. You can change the size of your brush over here. So let's just get rid of some of this yellow glow that we've got going on. Okay, we'll leave it like that for now. Click on the tick when you're done, and then you've got your image. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to actually make this black and white. So I'm going to go down into, not color, that's not what I want to do, filters. And I'm going to go grayscale. But I can also go into enhancements and create, like, increase the contrast. So I might do that because I want to have it like a nice sort of cutout feel, maybe like a bit grungy. Play around with all the levels. I think I'm happy with that for now. Okay, so I'm going to put her over here. Now, there are some areas that you want to like be careful where you want to be careful that, you know, like there's some like parts of the thumbnail where you don't want to have any important text because there's going to be like overlays. So I think you want to be like avoiding the bottom down here. So we're going to make sure that our title is quite central and is in this sort of right hand space here. But that's definitely something worth checking out. Now, I'm actually going to stick something over her head because I want this to sort of be an anonymous thumbnail. As I said, I want to accurately reflect what's in the video, and obviously this girl is not in my video. So I'm going to go to design assets, and I'm going to look for lips. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to go to photos and look for lips. I want a photograph. Right, hang on. Let me just look in the thing. Gareth's looking for sunglasses. I'll try not to go full Maddie colors for this. Okay, right. I've caught up on the chat. So let's have a look for some lips I can use. I kind of want some that look like they might be talking. So let's see if we can find like an open mouth. Or maybe something like this. I wonder if... So what I'm going to do, obviously there's a whole range of lips there on a white background. So I'm going to remove the background, but I only need one pair of lips. So what I'll do is I'll use the erase tool and I'll just get rid of the ones that I don't need. So let me just make my brush bigger. So I'm going to keep this one in the middle, top middle. So I can just erase all of these because I don't need them. And then I'm going to put this, I'm going to make it much bigger and put it over her face. Now, obviously I haven't made the video, so this might not accurately reflect what's in my fake video, but it's creating a fun collage style, which I'm really happy about. Okay, perfect. So I definitely want to edit the background. I think I'm going to go for like a pinky background, make sure that it's contrasting with the lips, but it still goes. I think that's looking fun. So I'm definitely going to add in some like other collage elements. Let's get the title in there. So I'm going to go to shapes and look for a speech bubble. I'm just going to have a quick cough 1 second. Okay, so speech bubble. Let's see what we've got. Oh no, hang on. Got to actually hit search. So we've got a whole bunch of speech bubble shapes here. So I'm just going to have a scroll through and find one I like. I find, oh, I'm sorry. Sean says, am I the only one this is freaking out? Sorry, Sean. Definitely didn't mean to freak you out. Okay, this speech bubble, I think, will do the trick. And we're going to put it over here. I kind of like how she's pointing to the speech bubble and then she's got the lips, lips head. Oh dear. Okay, so let's make the speech bubble black for a nice bit of contrast. And then I'm going to head to text and find some text I could use. There's lots of like great sort of almost like pre-set up designs for text. Oh, I think this could be quite fun. This like blocky text, but with a drop shadow. Okay, so I'm going to change this to how to add. So that's going to be the first bit, but I'm going to want to change the color of the drop shadow. I actually like the text in yellow. Let me just try add another word and see how this looks. Personality. That might be better. How to add personality. Now, this might not be the most sort of legible choice, but I think because it's such a bold, blocky font, we should be able to get away with it. Now, you'll see down here, this is where you can control your shadow and your outline. So if I just drop the menu down, our shadow is currently black. So we're going to want to add, another color so that it shows up. So let's have a play around. Maybe we grab like the pink from the lips. Yeah, I think that could be quite fun. How to add personality. There's a bit of debate about what sort of a video I'm making. Right, so I'm going to add another bit of text and hopefully, yeah, great, it's come up in the same, I think it's in the same font. It's done different colors, but that's fine. We can work with that. So I'm going to change this to your branding, because I would obviously make a video about branding. So I'm going to put that here. Oh, it's jumping around a bit. So, and I think because it's about adding personality to your branding, I think this sort of style works quite well. I think this style works quite well. So let's just get these colors matching the other bit of text. So what I need the text color to be this yellow. I need the drop shadow to be this pink. It's also got an outline, so I need to make sure the outline is black. There we go. Now it's all starting to come together. So that's how it's looking. Now we've got a bit of space to play with around here. So I think I like how the text is looking. But I want to add some other elements. So maybe let's see if we can find some brush strokes or something like that. Oh. Perfect. Yeah, this is the sort of thing I am looking for. So something like this. And if you haven't tried Adobe Express before, you'll see, hey, there's like a crown, and that just signifies if you've got access to it, if you've got a premium account. But you'll see that there's absolutely loads on here that you can use with a free account as well, which is amazing. So yeah, there's plenty for us to choose from. So I'm just going to play around with adding these to the design. Might use it as an opportunity to introduce some more colors. So I'm going to put the swatch there, but I want it to go behind. So I'm just going to go over to my layers panel and drag it down to behind the person. Right. Anyone want to suggest some colors that we could add into this palette? Oh, nice. It's made what we're working on into a color palette, which is great. So I could shuffle these around if I wanted to try different options. I don't totally want to do that because I quite like how it's looking at the moment. But you can see here, there's lots of different. Let's just try one and see what happens. So you could just click on a different color palette and it'll change everything for you. Yeah, see, I think what we had before was better. Let's go back to what we had. and we'll add in some other colors. So let me just click on my brush, close the edit image, get the color palette up. Oh, hang on. Let me see. I'm not selected on it. Oh, okay. So because it's from a design asset, not a shape. So if it was a shape, I could just easily change the color with the color, like just the color box. But if I want to change it on this one, I need to do it in the filters. So I could change it here, I believe. I just need to change that. There we go. So then you can change it here. It's just a slightly different way of doing it. So we're just doing it in the duotone section on the filters. But I think I want to have a different color. So maybe bring in like a green. Maybe something like minty like that. Oh yeah, good. Sean's got a good tip. Duplicate this page before trying colors. What I'm going to do, that's a great idea, Sean. Very good workflow. I'm going to just add some more bits of the design and then we'll duplicate it and we'll play around with the colors. That is excellent thinking. Instead of just having to rely on the undo button. So I'm going to put this here, but I'm going to move it behind the speech bubble. And I'm going to go back into filters and duotone. And I'm going to get my pipette tool. Try that in green as well. Right, let's have a look at design assets again and see if we can find maybe a paint splatter. Oh, can't spell. Nice. So maybe it's something like this. Look quite fun. I actually quite like it in the sort of white color. Let's see what else we have. Let's look for some leaves. Reverb Mike says branding. I always feel sorry for the cows, but you've got to do it or else they get lost. Yeah, I know. They do. They would get lost. That is true. Right. So let's see. There's some really great examples here of like already sort of put together collages. I think I might go for this green leaf here. Bring it in over here. But what I'm going to do is move it back behind, in between the paint stroke and her arm. Might bring this, oh, not the lips, bring the paint swatch out a bit. Let me just do it with my arrows. There we go. This is giving me, James says, this is giving me real Steve Madden shoes vibes. Yeah, I'm getting a bit carried away. Okay, so I think actually that I'm going to make this paint stroke back to black because I think it'll look quite good with the contrast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one to match the leaf. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to get my pipette tool. I think that green's working quite well. Right, let me find just some more elements that I want to add. Bring this over here. Just add some bits around. So yeah, it's quite fun and playful, not taking itself too seriously. I think it would definitely catch your eye if you were scrolling through YouTube. So let's go with Sean's tip, and we can play around with the colors. Someone's asked in the chat, what is the software name? And this is Adobe Express. So if you just search Adobe Express, you'll be able to find it. and you can very easily set up a free account so that you can use this. Okay, so let's duplicate our colors, not our colors, duplicate our page. Now, the other thing that would be good to mention is that often you might want to make a template. So you could either keep all of your thumbnails in one project. So you keep them all together with the duplicated pages, and then you can always click on this button here and see them all next to each other. Or you make it a template and you can start, each thumbnail as a new project, but you're not having to start from scratch each time. And that's going to give you some consistency with how things look. So for this, you could keep this speech bubble always in the same place, but you could change the collage over here, have slightly different colors, but maybe you have a limited color palette. But yeah, let's have a play around with some of these color palettes and see if we come up with something that we like even more than what we currently have. I think maybe let's look in the bold ones. Oh, I actually really like that. And then if you'll see over here, you've got the shuffle button, and you can also change the, like if you liked this color palette but you wanted to change one color, you can click on this button and do that. But let's try the shuffle and see what happens. I love how sort of it changes everything so quickly just by flicking through these different color options. That one's making my eyes go funny, so that's definitely something to think about. You like that green and purple is definitely not good not good for the eyes. Let's try a few. Oh, this one's a nice one. Oh, see, I like that as well. Doesn't quite have the contrast that you'd want with the lips, but I think it's interesting. Roland, nice to see you. Nice to see you virtually. Michelle says, should projects made on desktop automatically be available in the map app on mobile? Yes, they should. So if you are working on something, like it might take a few seconds to update or upload, but if I was working on this and then I needed to go off somewhere and I wanted to carry on working on it on my phone, when I open up the app, it should all have updated, and then I would be able to see this and then carry on working on it, which is really great because I find this especially helpful for social media posts. So I might start working on a social media post on desktop, not have time to finish it, but then I could just finish it on my mobile and then just post it when it's done. So that's really handy. So yeah, you can definitely work across the two. So I'm just gonna pick some more colors. Nice. I just like having, not having to start from scratch and being able to use like some of the color palettes suggested. And again, if I wanted to create a theme, I could duplicate this again, pick another color scheme. Whoa, that one's, yeah, again, make sure that you think about the color and the legibility because some of these aren't working, but like that one could be quite fun. And then what I could do is potentially this could be a series and I just go through and change the titles for each one, maybe change like the graphic here, but so there's still elements that keep it, on a theme. There's just a few differences like of the color, the title, and maybe some of these elements to differentiate them. But yeah, anyway, I hope that has been helpful. Obviously, this is just one particular style. And if you are using YouTube for your personal marketing, like for your business, then you are going to want to keep things on brand with the branding that you already have. But I think with thumbnails, you can definitely have a bit of fun and try and create something eye-catching that is going to draw people in. So I hope you found that enjoyable. Thanks so much for joining me. Yeah, great. It's been great to see you. Tony Harmer is going to be here at 2 p.m. Doing a project in InDesign. I think he's creating a flyer. Hopefully I've got that right. But whatever it is, he's going to be doing something awesome in InDesign at 2 p.m. And I will be back here again next Monday with another project in Adobe Express. Thanks for joining me and have a great rest of the week.